Hi guys, one sec. Turn this light on, see if that helps. Hi! Hey Fit and Funky fam! My name is Ashlie Molstad. I am just gonna jump right into this because I feel like I have kind of a lot that I want to talk to you guys about. I am a humongous fan of questions, so hopefully you guys have some for me. And I was going back and forth thinking about what should I talk to them about. Hi, Leppy! Hold on, let me open this. I want lots of light. So I was going back and forth thinking, what should I talk to them about? And honestly, I really struggled because I know, guys, look at, I put on makeup for you. I curled my hair. I did all kinds of things because this is not normal. Hi, Karen. So this lighting's better. I'm coming over here. Coming. Un momento, please. Okay. So I couldn't think about what I wanted to talk to you guys about because I have to be honest, I don't feel like, hi Blake, I'm excited for this too. I don't feel like I do anything super well or super different. And so I wasn't really sure, but I will say that the question that I get asked a lot by other coaches is how do I grow a social media following? And I thought, well, should I talk to Fit and Funky about, like Team Fit and Funky about this? Because I feel like we're lucky that we have Danielle and we get a lot of training from her. But I do things differently and we are all different. And so I thought maybe you could hear it from a different perspective. And I also want to give you a little fourth quarter kind of game plan motivation thing. So I said this in the very beginning, but some of you weren't on yet because I'm not a fan of when videos go live, people wait for an hour and just like dilly-dally around, like get to it, okay? So I said this in the beginning and you guys weren't on yet, but I love questions, so please ask questions as they come up because I'm doing this for you, not for me. So I want to make sure I get all of your questions answered. So I'm going to go through and tell you my social media tips, but I want you to know that like Gary Vaynerchuk said this at Summit, and I just think it is so true. And he said it does not matter the number of followers that you have. It matters how many followers you have who care. So I think that we're all looking for how to get the most followers. And what we need to be looking at is how do we build the most loyal tribe? Because I can guarantee you, and I guarantee because I have seen it and I know that this is true, that there are coaches out there who you have never heard of before because they're not doing anything with the coach business who have over 100,000 followers on their page. There are also coaches who are 15-star diamonds who maybe they're in the Millionaire Club. I know one specifically she didn't make to 15-star. She went to 15-star qualifying, Steph Davies, 15-star qualifying, and she had less than 2,000 followers on her like page because her tribe is loyal AF. So, and if you don't know what AF means, it means as fuck. So, if you have little kids watching, just know that I have a little bit of a potty mouth. Okay, so I feel like I want you to know first off that it is not about getting more followers. I mean, sure, that could mean that there's more eyes on your posts, but it's what you do with those followers. It's about creating a loyal tribe. So don't get hung up on how many followers you have because I think that at the end of the day, that's an excuse that you're making for yourself for why you're not successful is I don't have enough followers. You don't want followers. You want a tribe. You want a clan. You want, as Shalene calls them, lifers. So I'm going to dig into how I guess I've developed my lifers, my tribe. And I feel very connected and in love with my following. I feel super blessed. But I'm not doing anything special. I'm not doing anything that you haven't heard before, probably. So I also want to preface this by saying I can give you the tips, the things that work for me, but knowing doesn't make it happen. It's action that makes it happen. So if you want your following to grow, you have to do. There are no secrets in this business. There is a ton of social media training out there. So I'll give you my tips, but know that if you do nothing with these tips, it's not just like you become successful by osmosis. You have to actually put them into action. Action, work, that is where the magic happens. So tip number one, if you're taking notes, is you've got to provide value. We've heard this before millions of times, I'm sure, but you have to make sure that you're providing content that's interesting to people. When I put content up, it cannot just be the Ashlie show. I can't just say like that I woke up and I did laundry and now I'm eating breakfast and now I'm like going to the store. I can't, that's just not interesting. So you are definitely wanting to share your life, but I think you need to provide content and value. I think Snapchat is a great place to share those in between what am I doing moments, but on Instagram or your Facebook like page or your personal page, there has to be value behind 85% of your posts. There can be some so what, whatever posts, but most of them do need to provide value. And so what I say is pick 3 to 5 things that make you you, that you're going to be an expert on. And it doesn't mean that you're an expert and that you've done a bunch of research and you know everything about this area. Like if you're a mom, you're an expert on being the kind of mom that you are to your kids. That doesn't make you like the expert in that you're going to write a book about it and tell every other parent how to parent. You are an expert the way that you parent and the way that you're a mom. So for me, some of those things include I'm a dog mom. I'm obsessed with my animals. So you see a lot of them on my page. I also really like drinking. That's a part of my brand. So you see that I drink on my page. I also like to live a life in balance. So you see a lot of me with my cheat meals and practicing self-love and working on, being fit while also having fun. I also am into beauty and fashion kind of stuff. Like I just made a post about these cute new Converse that I got. Hi, Nayeli. I made a post about that on Snapchat. And when I find beauty products, I share that. I've done, tutorials on how to do my hair, whatever. I am an expert in those things. Am I the best at doing hair? Am I the best at doing makeup? Hell no. I don't get paid to do those things. That's not my job. It's just something I enjoy. So think about the things, 3 to 5 things that make you you. And if you struggle with what those things are, ask the people around you when they think of you, what do they think of? And guys, they can be anything. I am a fitness coach, a health and fitness coach whose brand includes drinking. Like it can be anything, okay? So I want to give you and then you're going to post about those things. So, and those, you have 3 to 5 things, and those are not including Beachbody. So those are outside of Beachbody. And I want to give you an example of why this is important. Because, hi, thanks, Sandy. It's important because when you go on social media and you post, if all you post about is fitness, it's really kind of boring. That's very one-dimensional. So I want you to think about the wedding ring. Like if you were in the wedding ring business where you made and sold wedding rings. If you made a page only about your wedding rings, that's not that interesting and your reach is going to be probably pretty small. But if you made your page about all things wedding and you shared centerpiece ideas and bouquet ideas and bridesmaids ideas and wedding gown ideas and where you can get deals and all kinds of things, and you made yourself a wedding resource, then people trust you. So when you post about your wedding rings, they're more likely to invest with you, right? So when you think of your 3 to 5 things that make you you, you are an expert in those things. You're providing value. People are coming to your page. They're seeking you out. They trust you because when you recommended that amazing mascara or you did that hair tutorial, they loved it. They tried it, worked for them. So then when you say, hey, this is the fitness thing I'm doing, would love to have you join me. They trust you. They're more likely to join you. So that's tip number 1. Is you have to provide value. I had an amazing call today with one of my newer coaches, and she asked me a question about when you're a brand new coach, how do you, like she's feeling overwhelmed with posting content. And so just a little asterisk to this provide value thing, I talked to her about this, but then I also said, I understand in the beginning it's super hard to come up with content. I feel like it's a muscle that you train and it gets better and easier the longer you do it. So when I very first started coaching, I stressed out a lot about, oh my gosh, I have to post it. What's my next post going to be? I haven't posted in a couple hours. Oh crap. And then I'd be thinking about it and stressing about it. So I think it's going to get easier. It's a muscle that you train just like anything. Now my whole day is content. I'm always thinking in terms of content. I'm taking pictures of everything. I don't always post everything, but I have it. Like I took several pictures out yesterday that I haven't posted. Maybe I will in the future because I had enough content already. So it's a muscle that you strengthen, so don't get overwhelmed with it. But to help you, in the beginning, I did schedule posts on my page. On Sunday night, I would schedule like maybe 2 to 3 posts a day, knowing I was going to fill in with my stuff on the other day. So I would go on Pinterest, and then I would schedule like a morning motivation post, an afternoon funny post, and an evening recipe post. That's what I did on my page. And then I would fill in with like my workout, or if I was drinking a glass of wine at night, or me with the dogs, or whatever I was doing. So that took a lot of stress and pressure off of me during the week to make sure I had something coming up, because I do think it is very important. This is another one of my bullets later, that you're consistent and that you show up. So just, help yourself out, take some of that pressure off, and schedule some posts if you're new and you're struggling with coming up with content. But don't give up, because it does get easier. Okay, anyway, tip number 1, provide value. Tip number 2, this one's a biggie. Be authentic and speak to your tribe. I think so often we feel like, well, now we're a fitness coach and that's all we are. But you're not, because point number 1 is pick 3 to 5 things that you are outside of fitness. And that means you're not perfect. And that means that you're sometimes going to miss a workout, or you're sometimes going to fall off plan, or sometimes you're going to get way off plan and you're going to gain some weight back, or you're sometimes going to get in a crappy headspace. And that's okay, because you're a human being and those things are allowed. Perfection is not required to be a successful coach. So I think be authentic and be you. And also, when I say that, when I first started, I did try to have like a certain voice where I was talking to everybody, because I started as a very insecure person. The person that started coaching is not the person that is speaking to you today. The person today is very confident, but the person that started couldn't walk into a room of friends without feeling like they were going to judge me, let alone a live stream on Facebook of a bunch of people I've never met. So I tried to talk to everybody, because I didn't want to turn people off. But I think it is such a gift to get unlikes. I posted something yesterday or the day before, immediately 5 people unliked my page. And I just was like, rad. Like, that's rad, because those people are not my tribe. And I hope that they do find the coach that works for them. But if they're going to be offended by one thing I say, they're not my tribe. They're not for me. And as soon as I started dropping F-bombs on my page and started posting more about drinking, I got some people that unfollowed me, because if they are all buttoned up and they're offended by an F-bomb, they definitely are not my tribe. But there are lots of coaches that will be their tribe. So I think, there's some growing pains in there, but the more authentic you can be. As soon as I started sharing about F-bombs and my drinking and my battle with depression, that's where you get your loyal people. That's where you get people that love you. If you've heard this, I'm sure you have, your vibe attracts your tribe. And the worst thing ever is to try to be somebody else, and then you attract the wrong people, and then you show up and you meet in person and you're like, we have nothing in common. We don't really like being around each other. How did this happen? And it's probably because you weren't being authentic. My team, when we get together, we have a frickin' blast and we love each other, because we're all the same people. We're different, but all the same. So you need to be authentic and speak to your tribe. I think you compare it to a rice cake. There's no flavor. Those are boring. Like, I don't really love them. I don't really hate them. I don't really have an opinion. You want people to have an opinion about you one way or the other. So you don't want to be everybody's cup of tea. It is a gift that you get to be authentic. You get to be yourself. Be free being yourself and put yourself out there. And so I have, an asterisk to this point is, if you are struggling also with coming up with content, follow other top coaches, and gain inspiration from them. So I have a lot of screenshots in my phone from other coaches, and when I'm struggling with coming up with content, sometimes I'll go through there and think, what can I post about? I never copy, I never duplicate. I will use it as inspiration. But you want to follow the coaches that speak to you, that speak to your tribe. So for example, I don't follow Melanie Mitro. Melanie Mitro, if you guys don't know, she's the top coach in the company. She will be for probably 3 years. I mean, she has been for 2 years. Looks like she will be for this 3rd year. She is an amazing coach, has built an amazing business. and I watch her videos and trainings on YouTube, but I do not follow her because I don't get anything from her posts. She is a very conservative, buttoned up, polished, classy, amazing mom of two. I wouldn't call myself classy. I wouldn't call myself buttoned up. I'm not polished. I am a little bit more of a free spirit. I'm not organized. I just kind of go with the flow, and my main priority in life is having fun, and I don't have kids. So I don't follow her because I don't get anything from her posts, but I follow coaches who are super fun. Like, I like following Andrea Crowder because she's rad, and she has kids, but she also drops the F-bomb, and she's also just real, and she drinks, and she's just my kind of person. I get a lot of inspiration from Chelsea Pearson. So I think it's important to follow the coaches that you connect with. So that way you're getting inspiration from the right people. Because if I were to screenshot Melanie's posts, because I'm like, well, Melanie's clearly doing something right, and then I try to use those as inspiration and post about them, it's not going to feel authentic, and I'm going to attract the wrong people. Because I have no business talking to classy, buttoned up people that are moms, because that's not who I am. And there is a coach out there for those people, and it's Melanie or anyone else that's like Melanie. But then there's people like me out there. And if you exist, there are people like you. So I knew for me that if I existed where I want to be fit and I also want to drink and have burgers sometimes, that if I exist, other people existed like me. So embrace who you are, be authentic, do not be a boring rice patty that nobody really cares about and has no opinion about. Unlikes are a gift because it gets you to dive or gets you to connect deeper with your tribe, okay? So don't think width, think depth. That's point number 2. These are kind of long points, but that is be authentic and speak to your tribe. And to do that, it's really hard in the beginning because we care a lot what people think. Again, a super insecure person when this business started, and I cared a lot what people thought. So do personal development, continue to work on your brain and train your brain, and you really have to stop caring what people think. You have to stop trying to please everybody. That is boring. And I'm sure you guys know, like when you're around someone who is just fully wholly themselves, like it's magnetic. It doesn't matter who they are, what kind of person they are. I remember a couple years ago, like 5 years ago now, I met this girl. She had dreadlocks, total hippie, didn't shave her armpits, talked about how much she loved sex all the time. And I'm like, that's not me. I mean, I'm not a total hippie. I wash my hair, I shave. I'm not sleeping with everybody. But she was just like, that's me. That's who I am. And it was just refreshing to be around her because she didn't care what anyone thought. So just try to embrace that. I know how hard it is to do, but that's why you really need to be doing personal development so that you can continue to grow your mind and get comfortable with being who you are and putting that out there. Because life is so much more fun being who you are and not caring what people think. Oh, it's so freeing and super rad. Okay, point number 3 is be vulnerable. So I think it's a lot easier to be vulnerable once you become authentic, but I think that I developed a lot of trust with people as soon as I shared some of the battles that have been in my past. And I didn't just dive off the deep end with this. I don't think you have to like throw yourself off of a cliff, to get out of your comfort zone. I think you can tiptoe. I think you can tiptoe just a little bit, just push your boundaries a little bit. So when I first started talking, I just opened up a little bit about who I was. And then that felt comfortable, and I would do that for a while. So then I opened up a little bit more. And then I remember when I wanted to talk about my depression and my mental health issues, and I was really nervous to talk about depression, and I didn't say anything about suicide. And then once that felt comfortable and I got people to trust me with that, and I had more people coming to me saying, thank you for being open about that, then I was able to talk about how I've, struggled with suicidal thoughts before. And then, with the miscarriage, some people are very embarrassed or ashamed that they miscarried. I just think it's a fact of life. So when I miscarried, I just shared it, and it felt healing. It was healing for me because I knew I was not alone. I could get something out there. I didn't have to be ashamed of something. And also, it was healing for me in that people would come to me and tell me how much it helped them. And so then I'm building trust. They're also coming to me, so I'm building relationships. And I'm healing myself, and I'm helping people, and I'm growing my business because now they trust me. you see? So whatever you have struggled with in your past, you need to share those things. You need to share your gremlins. One personal development person that I love is Brene Brown, and she talks about, I don't know if you guys remember the movie Gremlins, but she talks about how gremlins cannot survive the light. So if you shine the light on them, they cannot survive the light. So those skeletons that are in your closet, those things that you're embarrassed of, those are the things that are unique to you, that your tribe is going to love you more for, that is going to make your tribe trust you more and feel more connected to you. And the more you shine the light on them, the less power they have over you, and they just don't exist anymore. So that's tip number 3, is be vulnerable. It builds trust. Okay, 1 second. I need a little agua. Jennifer, I'm going to answer your question at the end. Okay, tip number 4 is create engagement. And what I mean by that is, of course, you're posting compelling content. Of course, you're talking in your voice and you're being authentic and you're building trust and sharing your gremlins. But you are also asking things of your audience. So in the beginning, I did a lot more call to action where I would ask them to like or comment or share my post. Because the more they do that, the more Facebook bumps up your, what is that called? Oh my God, I'm totally blanking. Whatever. It bumps up your profile and thinks, well, this person, they're engaging, so they want to see their stuff. So then they start showing your likes, your stuff more. When those people then comment on it, it goes out into their friends' newsfeed that they are liking, commenting, and posting, and sharing your content. So I did very simple things in the beginning. Again, part of my thing is beauty. So I would say, hey guys, I'm in the market for a new mascara. What's your fave? Super easy thing for people to comment on. Algorithm. Yes, thank you, Leticia. It boosts your algorithm when you get engagement. So I would ask that. Another one was, I was like, I'm looking for a new blender. Which one? Or another idea that you can do is, I'm going out for date night tonight. Can't decide which shoe option, boot or wedge. And just quick people do that. Or I have to turn in this, if you guys see around the time that elite people have to turn in their elite photos, people ask online, which one should I use? And sometimes I do use their answers for what one I should use or wear or whatever. But a lot of times I'm just doing it for engagement, because it's asking people, it's getting movement and engagement on your page. So that's just a super simple tip, but ask people, give them call to actions, ask them to like your post, ask them to share your post, ask them to comment, ask them questions, get them involved, get them used to talking to you. And that's going to boost your algorithm so that more people see your stuff. Number 5, you got to show up every single day. Every day. You no longer own your social media. This is a job. This is a job, and your job, you're never, that commercial where it's like this mom and she opens the door and she's like, I'm sorry, sweetie, I'm sick. I'm not going to be able to come into work tomorrow. And then she's telling it to her little kid in the crib. And they're like, there's no day offs when you're a mom. There's no days off when you're a coach either. Leticia was in bed with a super crazy stomach bug yesterday, and she still was very present on social media. I know coaches who have gone through death, who have gone through miscarriages, who have gone through divorce, who have gone through all kinds of things, and they're still present on social media. So I think it is super, super, super important that you post 3 times a day. 3 times a day. And again, I know it's a lot to ask in the beginning if you're a brand new coach, because that's a lot of content, but schedule your posts to help you out and just fill in with the live stuff throughout the day. But you need to be present. You need to be consistent. You need people seeing your stuff, seeing that you're not going anywhere day after day after day. You are now the CEO of a $1 million business. And if you think that you are not, that is the quickest way to not be. So you got to show up every single day and be consistent. And you also can't just complain on social media, okay? This political stuff I just don't feel like you can bitch about politics right now or anytime. There is enough negativity out there. People have enough crap in their own world. You need to be a ray of sunshine all the time. And that doesn't mean you can't have bad days, because there are bad days and you're allowed, like Leticia, I'm going to give her as an example again yesterday. So she was sick with a crazy stomach bug, felt nauseous all day, and she didn't sit there and do like, woe is me, I feel miserable, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, because people have enough woe is me. She was like, I'm still getting up, I'm doing what I can. I'm doing what I can because it makes me feel better. So she did a workout that she could and gave what she could. And when I'm in a bad mood or when my back was really injured, I didn't just sit there and say like, oh, my back's injured and I can't move and life sucks. Everyone already thinks their life sucks because they're not doing personal development. So, you know, they're not in the practice of training their mind to think positive. So you can't just go on there and complain. Oh, your boyfriend broke up with you? Well, you can't just sit up there and cry. You got to spin it, you know, spin it and win it. Turn your mess into a message. That takes some practice as well, but I promise it gets easier. Okay, that was number 5, show up every day, be consistent, and in that you don't own your social media, so you're not allowed to just go on and bitch, okay? You're bringing people up, and you're inspiring them, and you're helping them, even through your downtimes as well. Okay, number 6 is be personal. And so what I mean by this is if you are putting out images on your social media, like when Quarter Force launches, I really hope none of you take the image that Beachbody puts together and looks really pretty and put it on your social media, because that's not interesting. It's not scroll stopping. I feel like those are pretty for coaches. Like Beachbody gives it to us and, you know, makes us excited. Those are not then things that we should be sharing with other people. We need to make it personal. So what I plan to do when Quarter Force comes out is talk about how I have a new martial arts boot camp coming out, and I'm going to talk about it. And then I'm going to make video of myself doing it and working out. And then I'm going to share about the meal plan with it. And I'm going to share my experience with it. I'm going to make it personal. And I am not going to put a picture up of a challenge pack of Quarter Force and Shakeology, because all that is, people are sitting there on their phone, scroll, 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 scroll. If I see those things, I think sale, sale, sale. So what you want is you want something that's eye-catching, that's personal, and stop their scroll. So I also no longer really put up like just on Facebook at least, I don't put up memes or like things that I find on Pinterest that are inspirational. I will put a picture of me up with maybe that as a quote on the image or in the text. I try to personalize everything as much as possible because at the end of the day, guys, we're not selling fitness programs. We're not selling Shakeology. We're not selling anything that Beachbody sells. We are selling ourselves. If people want to get fit, there's a million ways they can do it. If people want to get fit using Beachbody stuff, there's a million ways they could do it. They can go on Amazon, they can go on eBay, they can borrow it from a friend, they can have a friend burn it from them, they can stream it, like they can just go to beachbody.com and buy it. What you are selling is you, the ability to work with you. So you want to personalize as much of your content as you can. And I also am not a fan of like, I share very rarely from other pages. If I find content that's really good, I very, very, very rarely share it. And I pretty much never share it unless it's a video. Like if it's a recipe, I will take that recipe and I will post it myself and give that page credit, but I don't share it. Because I want to be a resource for people. So if I'm constantly sharing from other people, then I am not a go-to resource for anything because I am getting this from all the other resources that they can go get that content from. So sometimes I do share videos if they're doing really well and they have, you know, 1 million or more views, then I will share that because you can kind of, you get a little bit of that algorithm love from a video that's doing well. So I do share sometimes videos that are doing well, but I don't really share any other content to my page. I try to make it as original and personal as possible because I want people to believe in the value of me. I am the biggest value that comes with their purchase, okay? That also helps build trust. So that's number 6, be personal. Number 7, this is a goodie, you got to do the work, okay? Let me say that again. You have to do the work. I think that a lot of times people think that this business is so much harder than it is, and it's because they're not actually working it. I had a coach message me the other day, Monday. I made a post about how to make your Mondays not suck anymore. I did a live video, and I had a coach say, you know, I'm one of those coaches. I'm a Beachbody coach too, but I'm one of those coaches this business doesn't work for. And my reply back was simply, this business might not work for you if you're not working it. And then I asked her, what shake flavor are you drinking? Like, what's your recipe? What workout are you doing? What day and what workout are you doing? What calendar are you following? When was the last time you posted about either of those? How many people have you connected with today? How many people have you reached out to today? What personal development are you reading, and how much are you committed to doing daily? Are you reading or listening to? She replied back with something like I work out every day. I'm not following a specific program, but I work out every day. My problem is I just can't find my niche. I can't get people to come to me. So I wrote back and said, you didn't answer any of my questions. Guys, none of this matters if you're not doing the 4 vital behaviors. It doesn't matter how good you are on social media if you're not doing the 4 vital behaviors. You have to pick a workout program and follow the calendar and complete it. You have to post about that. You need to be drinking your shake every day. You should be posting about your shake every couple times a week, at least. You need to be doing personal development and sharing that. And even if you're not like sharing all the time quotes or whatever from your personal development, if you're bitching and complaining and moaning on social media, it's very obvious you're not doing personal development, because personal development changes your brain so that you don't do that anymore and you live in a state of gratitude. It takes a lot of work, but I know from experience that it's possible. And you also need to be reaching out to people. You need to be starting conversations. Attraction media is a beautiful thing, or attraction marketing is a beautiful thing. What that means is that people come to you. And I do have a lot of that now, but it took years to build. In the beginning, I had to start a lot of conversations. I had to reach out to people. I had to message them. And this is kind of a little tangent-y, but that's what I'm known for on my team. But you have to do the work. And so I want you to look at, like, is this business not working for me, or am I not working it? Because I did the math the other day. My phone's here. I say you're supposed to be starting 3 conversations a day, just 3 new hey girls. And those hey girls do not need to lead to Beachbody right away. They can just be starting conversations. I'm not talking about your follow-ups. I'm not talking about people that reach out to you. I'm not talking about your friend requests. I'm only talking about if you start 3 new conversations a day, you take the weekends off. So 3 times 20, because there's 4 weeks in a month with the weekends off, 60 people a month. 60 people a month that you're starting conversations with times 12 is 720 people a year, and you need to help 3 people a month. So 3 times 12 is 36 people. You are talking to 720 people a year if you're doing the work, and those are you sending messages out, not relying on people coming to you, and you only need 36 people to say yes to you. Like, do the math, guys. Work the numbers. This is a numbers game. So you have to do the work behind the scenes. You can have an amazing social media, but you still have to do the uncomfortable stuff and send them messages and reach out to people and connect and get uncomfortable. Like, comfort zones suck. There's nothing great that ever happens in comfort zones. Nothing. Think about every rad thing that's ever happened in your life. When you met your husband, was it uncomfortable when you first went out on the first date? Yep. When you first met your best friend, did you go to a party and you were a little bit nervous about how the party went? Or there was some awkward stages in the beginning of that friendship as you were getting to know each other? Yep. What about when you got your job? Were you nervous when you went into your interview? What about when you had your kids? Were you nervous thinking, like, what kind of parent am I going to be? This is crazy. Like, every great thing that's ever happened to you happened outside of your comfort zone. So you have to do the work. You have to put yourself out there, be vulnerable, stop thinking about what people think of you, and just be you. Like, you are allowed to be you. We are not, there is nowhere in the Beachbody like requirements of a coach that says perfection. It just says that you have to be you. It is not our job to make everybody love Beachbody. It is not our job to be desperate for Success Club points. It is our job to put this in front of as many people as possible, to live our best life and share with other people the tools that we use to help us do that, so that we can inspire them to do the same. Okay. So I can answer your questions in a second, but I just wanted to, I don't know what the time check is here. Yeah, comfort zones are no fun zones, guys. Just like Leticia said. I'm trying to see. Okay, so I've been talking for 34 minutes. So I run towards, when I feel fear, I just get out. I'm attracted to it. It's magnetic. I want to do things that make me uncomfortable because I know that has made my life so much better. So Social media can be tricky. It can be hard. You're very vulnerable. You're putting yourself out there. People are going to judge you. Haters are kind of cool. Like, I like haters. They boost engagement. A lot of times, if I get a hater and then I call them out, people are like, don't give that guy any airtime. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm boosting my engagement. You don't know that, but that's what I'm doing. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. So if things are bothering you and you are letting fear rule you right now because you're afraid of what people think, or you think that sending hey girl messages are uncomfortable, or it's a lot of work and it's hard. Guys, it is hard. There's sacrifices that need to be made to be successful in this business. That's it. There's sacrifices that need to be made. But I talked to my team about this last night on the team call. So I sacrificed some things for 2 years. A year and a half in, basically of really working this business, I left my job. My husband was working on a contract. His contract ended at the end of last month. So we are home now on my one income. And we don't feel stressed about that. We feel great. And yesterday, the sun was out. So we decided to go play in the sun. We decided to go downtown, middle of the day. On the way down, some of you might have seen this post. On the way down, we got a flat tire on the highway. So my husband changed the tire. We went to Les Schwab. They said we needed 4 new ones. We bought 4 new ones like that, $600. Like, we need new tires. I remember years ago I needed new tires and I only got 2, and those went on a credit card because I couldn't buy all 4. I couldn't afford to buy all 4. So we bought 4 new tires for our car, and then we pedaled around all day, and I didn't do any work all day. And then I came home and I had a team call last night, and I got to work and like connect with my team. And I'll get a paycheck tomorrow, and I get to work with who I want, when I want, where I want. I don't have to stress about money. And so do you think that those sacrifices were worth it? Do you think that I regret at all having to say to not watch certain, like, okay, I really want to watch Game of Thrones, guys, because everyone says it's amazing, but I can't. That's a sacrifice I made. I know it seems silly, but like, my husband is obsessed with that show. All of our friends, when we get together, they talk about it. I'm like the only one who hasn't seen Game of Thrones, but I'm freaking building a business. I'm changing our life. So do I regret when people invite me, hey, you want to come out tonight? My calls are every Tuesday night. There's like this pizza night my friend keeps inviting us to, or there's this spin class that my friend spins at, and she's like, you know, come to my spinning class. I'll let you do it for free. Well, I have a team call every Tuesday night. Is it always convenient? No. Is the sacrifice worth it? Yes. So there is going to be sacrifices, and we're headed into the 4th quarter right now. This time of year is slower, just naturally. But the biggest obstacle is right between your own 2 ears. It's not impossible to grow and see growth in this business in this time of year, because I'll tell you what, I guarantee I will hit Success Club this month. Leticia will, Danielle will, Lori will, Kim will, Tanya will, Holly will, Rhonda will, Amanda, like the people that have decided I'm going to make this a non-negotiable to be successful in this business, and I'm going to do whatever sacrifices I have to do, like, they're not going to let those excuses get to them. And so there was a quote, I think it was at Platinum Edge, and I don't remember who said it, but I think it was Christine Dwyer maybe, who said, or maybe it was someone else, I can't remember, but the team that got you to where you are now is not the team that is going to get you to where you want to be. So you're going to get cancellations this time of year. You're going to get a lot more no's. And that doesn't mean anything other than you just got to hustle harder. It doesn't mean that you're a crappy coach, or that you can't be successful, or that you can't help 3 people a month, or that it's impossible to hit Success Club, or that your team sucks. It doesn't mean any of those things unless you let it. So I just want you to own your mind this 4th quarter. I think the biggest battle we face right now is not that people are spending money, you know, on other people. It's gift giving season for other people. I don't think that's the biggest battle. I don't think the biggest battle is that people aren't worried about losing weight this time of year because the freaking mascot is like, is eating candy. Like, I don't think those are battles. I think the battle is in your head, because I guarantee I'm going to grow my business in this 4th quarter, because that's what I'm focused on. That's the wavelength I'm operating on. I'm going to show up on social media. I'm going to do my program right now. I'm in week 8 of Insanity Max 30. I followed it. I check in every day on social media. I share my Shakeology a couple times a week, every day on Snapchat, but a couple times a week on my social media. I'm going to continue being a ray of sunshine and share positive light, and I'm going to fall off track and I'm going to share that too. And maybe I'll regress and I'll gain some weight and I'm going to share that too. But then I'm going to start quarter force and I'm going to share that and I'm going to get great results. I'm going to help people. And like, this business is about helping people. And so when you care what people think about you and you're afraid of looking dumb or what the haters might say or what your family might think or whatever, that's ego. That is you thinking about you. This business is about helping people. So think about, how can I serve others? How can I serve others today? How can I help share this gift that's been given to me with other people? Because guys, this is a gift. The fitness group and the coaching opportunity have completely changed my life. I was bouncing from diet to diet to diet, living in a body that I hated. We were living paycheck to paycheck with debt. I was putting everything on credit cards. I was living in a head that hated who I was. Not only did I hate my body, I hated who I was. I contemplated suicide before this business, like daily. Not every day, but for 6 months, it was really, really bad. And we now are debt-free. I feel so at peace with my body. And I'm bigger now than I've been in a couple years because I really regressed this summer. And that's okay because I'm human. And we don't live paycheck to paycheck. We're not stressed about anything. I'm happier than I've ever been. My marriage is better. Like, life is better. So stop letting your ego get in the way. That's all I really feel like I need to say. So that was just like, I know that the fourth quarter's hard, guys, but it's only made harder by you talking to yourself like you can't be successful. So go freaking help people. Post on social media, make your stuff personal, make it connect with people, share your gremlins, be vulnerable, use your voice, and sell yourself. And sell the lifestyle that you're living or the dreams that you're dreaming, because people need you. And people that are watching you won't connect with anybody else. They need you. And so I don't want you to give up this time of year. We start getting a lot of coach cancellations, and that just sucks for those people that are canceling. It doesn't suck for you. It doesn't suck that if you get a cancellation and you lose your diamond or your emerald rank or, whatever. That doesn't suck for you. It's not about you. It's about them. It sucks for that person. But guess what we get to do? We get to go out and not waste any energy on that and go put this in front of more people and share with more people. It's a gift that we have. So don't overthink your social media. You've got to do the hard work. You've got to do the action behind it. You want to use your voice and be personal and all of those things. So again, I'll run through these real quick. Number 1 is you got to provide value to people. Number 2 is you need to be authentic and speak to your tribe. Number 3 is be vulnerable and shine the light on your gremlins. Number 4 is create engagement and give them call to actions. Number 5, show up every day. Consistency is key, and you don't own your social media. And number 6 is be personal. Oh, yeah. Okay, I said that. Be personal. So make eye-catching images that are you, and they're going to stop their scroll. Number 7, do the effing work. Put in the hard work, because it doesn't matter. Who wants 100,000 followers with a business that doesn't do squat? Followers don't mean anything, guys. It's the followers you have that care. Build your tribe, not your following. Okay. Someone asked on here, where do I post? Do I post on my like page, Instagram, or my personal page? I don't think that this is a very common question, but I don't think there's a black and white answer to this. I think there's a lot of gray area because there's coaches that are successful doing it every way. So Danielle is 100% on her like page. She doesn't post anything on her personal page, and she uses Instagram. Leticia is very good about using Instagram, her like page, and her personal page, and it's like different content. Some of it's overlap, but she posts it at different time, but it's different content on all of them. One sec, sorry. I pretty much just use my like page and Instagram, but I want to get back to using my personal page. There are coaches that are successful using 100% their personal page. There are coaches that are successful using pretty much 100% Instagram. So I think that the answer to that is play around with it and find what works for you. I don't think that the answer is to post the same stuff on all three, your Instagram, your like page, and your personal page. I think if I was starting over, I would be using my personal page on Facebook and Instagram. And you can share the same content on those a little bit, you know, you just play around and see what your audience reacts to on both. Like, I put the same stuff up on my Instagram as my like page, except for my like page gets more videos and my Instagram gets more memes, because that's what does better on those platforms for me. But I don't put it on my like page and my personal page. There does need to be some variance. And I wouldn't put the same stuff on your like page as your personal page, because that's still on Facebook. So if you're going to post the same stuff, I think it needs to be on different platforms. So that's why I think on Instagram and your personal page, that's okay, because there's going to be some overlap. There's going to be people that follow you on your Facebook account as well as Instagram, but there's also going to be a lot of people who are only on Instagram or only on Facebook. And if they see your stuff on both, that's okay too, you know? But if you're doing your like page and your personal page the same stuff, that's the same platform, so I don't think that that works. But the bottom line is there's no right answer to that, so you just play around and find what works for you. Okay, let me see if there's any other questions here. Is there a method to coming up with good hashtags to get others to recognize your post? So what I do is sometimes when I've tried to find hashtags is I'll go to other people that I'm attracted to, their accounts, and I will screenshot their hashtags, and then I will use some of those, whatever ones apply to me. Like if it's like tattooed mom, I don't use that because I don't have tattoos. So I, you know, that's not my, I mean, I love them, so I guess I could attract them, but I don't have tattoos. So I put like beer snob is one of mine, like pit bull mom, dog lover, like whatever. So things that are about you. On Instagram, you can use 30, I think is still the formula or the rule that you can use 30 hashtags. But that's what I've done in the past when I don't know what to come up with. I don't use like Beachbody or Shakeology or, you know, Core de Force. I don't do those because usually the people that are searching those are other coaches or other Beachbody people. They're not new people that are discovering you that way. So I don't know if there's like a total method to it, but that's what I do to find my hashtags. Jennifer, yeah, I don't think you should tag yourself in anything or in everything from your like page to your personal page. I tag myself in stuff here and there a couple times a month maybe. And I think tagging yourself from your like page is better than sharing it. But I actually meant people do post the same stuff on their like page as their personal page. And that's duplicate content on the same platform. Like they're both on Facebook. So I don't think I don't think that's beneficial. So hopefully that clears up that question. Tiffany. There are things that I want to say and or post that are true and authentic to me, but I'm afraid of how it will come across because I'm a teacher. I feel like I have a responsibility in that sense. Of course, my goal is to do this full time, but my income isn't there yet, so it's a struggle. I don't know exactly what that's like because I'm not a teacher, but I do have some teachers on my team who have that same issue. The only thing that I can say, I would maybe ask this to people like Leticia or Danielle, who used to be teachers when they started this business. Ask them this question and they'll probably have a better answer. But I can say that while I worked at Nike, I had people that I worked with there that followed me. And I did have to be a little bit careful of some of the things. Like I couldn't say, one day I'm going to leave my job. Like I couldn't say that because they were following me. So I just, in this sense, I just talked about how much I loved Beachbody. Not that I was ever, like I just talked up what I was doing and what I was dreaming about and that I did look forward to all things Beachbody. But I didn't say anything bad about Nike. That doesn't really help you. I guess if there's things that you want to talk about, but I don't know, I don't really know. I don't know how to answer that because I kind of think, and I'm not a teacher, but I kind of think like, what could be the thing that you're afraid of? I mean, other than I have someone on my team who is just like me and she's a teacher. I know she's on here, Autumn. Like she likes to drink and she's afraid of if she talks about drinking that like she's friends with some of the parents and stuff. I guess there are some things that maybe you aren't able to be as open about. I think you just play around with that and see where your comfort zone is. I think it's okay to let people know that you do drink and that you're human, but maybe not to the extent that you do or something like that, like cheers to a Friday or out with friends, cheer, like whatever. But I just don't know if I'm the correct person to ask about those things. But if it's something that's been in your past, like how I battled depression, I feel like anyone could know that and that'd be okay. Things that are in your past, you know? Yes, if you like drinking and stuff. Okay. Autumn. So Autumn is who I was talking about. She says, I struggle with that as a teacher, and I just focus publicly on what I can say and use Snap to share a bit more because I control the audience better. Yes. Okay. Yeah, if you want to leave your job and you're working at a job now, I think there's lots of ways to talk about it without saying that, because I did that at Nike. And one of the things that Gary Vaynerchuk, this should be another piece of advice, guys. If you're not listening to Gary V, you need to do that and listen to him because he's amazing. But one of the things he said is, if I want to build the biggest house in town or biggest building in town, I'm going to build the biggest building in town because I have the biggest building, not because I'm tearing all the other buildings down around me. And I'm saying that to say that, like, if you want to leave your job, that's totally fine. You don't have to tear that job down to build this one up. That's all I did when I was working at Nike full time and I was doing Beachbody. I just talked about how much I loved Beachbody, how amazing it was to, like, after a full day of work, come home and look forward to another meeting, you know, when you had team calls, or how amazing the community is, or how amazing it was to have accountability on my journey. Autumn made a really good post yesterday where she talked about how strong and powerful women used to intimidate her, and now she just loves surrounding herself with it because it helps her grow. There's lots of ways to talk about how amazing Beachbody is without saying how crappy your current job is. So just want to make sure I get all these questions. Suzette, if you overpost, you need to stop and ask yourself, am I adding value with this post? I mean, I don't know what overposting means, but if you're posting things that are not adding value and they're boring, then stop and overpost over on Snapchat, because you can't really overpost on there, I don't think. But stop and ask yourself, like, is this worthy of a post? Is this providing value? Is this good content right now? Or is this just the Suzette show and no one really cares about it? And if it's great content, then you can't overpost. But if it's crappy content, it's just the Suzette show, then don't post, you know, just stop posting. Okay. I think that's all the questions that I have. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for hopping on and spending some time with me. I hope this was valuable, and I hope you learned a couple things, but I most of all hope that you go put things into action, because learning doesn't do jack squat for you. It's action that is gonna make your business grow. So I hope that you are inspired to go hustle your little faces off and make the fourth quarter the best quarter. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.